probably didn't start him, but if you have him stashed. I think you're going to feel really, really good about it because Tua Tagovailoa had his first real performance in the NFL. This Dolphins defense has been proclaimed by some as the best defense in the league, and because of that, they didn't really need him back in week 8, and now in week 9, we saw the breakout. Looked great against what's been a very solid Arizona defense. Completed 71% of his passes on 28 attempts, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a surprising rushing stat line as well. 7 rush attempts for 35 yards, so giving you 3.5 extra fantasy points on top of all of that passing production. It's a 21 fantasy point outing in his second NFL start. For Tua, are you going to put him right into that Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert tier where you're willing to buy in and start him? Because I think I am.
I'm not yet. I'm encouraged by Tua's, first real performance here when they really needed him to step up. I think he was great. He led that awesome drive right down the field to throw that second touchdown he had in the second half of that game against the Cardinals, which was awesome to see just from an NFL perspective. From a fantasy football perspective, I'm not willing to put him in that Herbert Burrow tier yet because Herbert and Burrow are seeing a ridiculous amount of volume in those offenses. They're throwing it down the field, a lot of air yards under their passes. Their OCs are just letting them sling the ball. Their defenses aren't stopping anybody either, so they need to. So that's what's really giving Herbert and Burrow that extra tier of value. Yes, they've been efficient, Herbert more so than Burrow so far. Burrow's still been good, but the volume is why they're a pretty safe play each and every week. And Tua's performance here was awesome. It was good to see. He was an incredible NFL quarterback in this game. He gave you the rushing baseline as well, which was awesome. But I still want to wait and see what he does before we put him in that tier. Now, I will say, I think Tua has entered stream range. We're actually going to talk about him a little bit later for some foreshadowing in our starts of the week segment.
Ooh.
So I think he can provide some sort of floor with that baseline. He's shown he can do it with his arm. Preston Williams is on IR now, so that's a little bit concerning. He still has Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki there, and we'll see who else can step up with Gaskin out in the backfield as well. But this was great to see. I think Tua has the talent to get it done. He's showing he can get it done on the NFL level, and he won the game, which is awesome. I mean, who would have thought? 2020 has been weird enough as it is, but we're sitting here going into week 10, and the Dolphins are 5-3, and the Patriots are 3-5. If you would have said that a year ago today, I think you would have been laughed out of the room. So we might be living in the Matrix with the Dolphins, in playoff position right now, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, I think Tua looked good. I think ideally you're going to wait and see with him. But if you're in a pinch, I know we have some buys this week from Matt Ryan, from Patrick Mahomes. Maybe you're looking for a streamer. He's someone that's in that category for me, and in a decent matchup upcoming against actually the Chargers and Justin Herbert. I think both guys could be starts.
This game really turned into a very competitive shootout, especially down the stretch. The question for Tua has never been, him as a prospect. He was one of the top prospects coming in. The question was the health. And I think we saw that in this game, the fact that he was scrambling outside of the pocket, not just on those seven rushing attempts that he had, but also just in general, like running play action bootlegs, things like that, things that you see like an Aaron Rodgers do, who will scramble around. You don't typically think as like a rushing quarterback. Tua was able to get those done. It even took some hits in this game. Didn't look like he was shaken up at all. So from a health perspective, you feel great for him there, which is one of the other reasons why you should feel good starting him if you need to. And then secondarily to that, the poise. The fact that Tua, and again, just his second NFL start, was able to lead a fourth quarter drive that ended in a game-winning field goal was fantastic to see. So, I'm the type of guy that I'm looking for in my quarterback position is upside. It's why I was big on Cam Newton before the season. That started out kind of hot and kind of fizzled out from there. So I was all in on Justin Herbert. I think Tua is exactly the same type of guy who's just an upside quarterback. I'm willing to put my chips in on him now before everyone else kind of comes around. So if there's any hesitation, if you can get Tua for any I don't think you're going to be able to buy him low at this point, but if you have him, I think you can go ahead and start him right now. Would not be surprised to see him at 20 fantasy points again here in week 10 against the LA Chargers.